Good afternoon, students. Myself, Professor Neha Dave. Today we'll be starting with a chapter that is called Setting Up of Market Research Project. Now, usually whatever we have discussed on the last session, we'll just brush it out, whatever the concept we went through. Into the last session, into the first session, first we started with what is marketing research, what are the different components of a research, and even what are the tools, because without these tools, the thing is the research, it is incomplete. So that is why the marketing research process, it is an important concept, because without doing a research and without doing any analyzation, we won't be able to know what is the product and how we can survive into the business. So that is why the thing is what we went first with the help of what is market, what is research, then afterwards we went with the types of research, what are the different types of research also, and according to this we went with certain desk research and field research also. That what happens when you want to collect any kind of data, there are two types of where you can collect the data. First, it is what the primary sources. Second, it is what the secondary sources. Primary, it is what your first-handed data, and secondary, it is what your the second-handed data which is already stored. And from this, with the help of the secondary data, we are taking the help of we develop this type of research, and then afterwards we take the help of from secondary to primary one. So these are the certain kind of data from where we can collect those information which will be relevant for during business. Whenever you want to start with any kind of business, so the research, it is an important concept. Now, even we went through with the help of yesterday what we have discussed on the last session, that we have discussed with a certain specialized techniques. Without this specialized techniques, the thing is what you won't be doing a basic research or a certain specialized research. What you want to do for a certain particular department or for a certain particular things, you have a different types of research. So that is why the thing is yesterday we went with the national survey research, what we have done. Next, it is what we have done with the consumer panel, test marketing, okay, research decision in advertisement. This was a different concept what we have discussed on the last session. And even parallelly to this, we got to know the important concept that why we do this type of research, what are the needs of research and all. Okay, and from where and how you analyze the data as you collect all the information from this. Now, once we have completed with this, we have also discussed with one more concept, that was overseas of market research. You can even use international market research also. That what is the overseas market research? Why it is the most important type? Why we are doing when we are doing a transactions to the international one? So on that time, what are types of rules and regulations what we follow? We seen over there product, price, place and promotion. This thing we have discussed also, that in marketing without these four elements it is an incomplete. So like when without these four elements, you should not even just look after with the product, price, place, promotion, but even the thing is what you need to do the research also. You need to analyze those data, because the thing is what when you're introducing a product to the overseas market, so it is difficult, it becomes very difficult and a very risk, because we need to go according to the consumer way, like what consumer wants. Because already I have discussed in the last session this also, that you are doing a marketing not for yourself, not for your company. You are doing your marketing for the consumer. That if the consumer wants and needs are being fulfilled, then your marketing strategies, your market development, your market source, the market functions and even the research will be complete. Then only the thing is you can survive into the competitive market. So that is why the thing is what we perform this type of rules and regulations relating to the particular type of research. Even we have discussed yesterday about survey, what is survey and all, what is the field report. Once you complete it out with all sort of data, we prepare a field report, then afterwards we do the survey, and at the end of it we prepare a report. And as with the help of all the mixture, finally the thing is what we are getting certain kind of information, and from this information finally the thing is what we can put a certain eye into to develop certain kind of internal strategies, because with the help of strategies only, the thing is what, as we collect all those information through the certain type of sources, so then only the thing is you can survive into the market. And already you people are aware that we are in the globalization period. So like to how, as we are into the international one, so on that time, what are the global market are facing a problem, what are the challenges they face. So usually they prefer a secondary data. Whenever an overseas market, when they do the research, they prefer for the secondary data first, because from this they used to get so much of information which will be relevant for their business also, to develop their business for the longer period of time. So that is why the thing is, the secondary sources of data which gathered, and which is the most important, from this they get a business development also. Now today, as we have already discussed so many concepts related to market research, internally depth and all, and how the thing is what market research it is being conducted, what are the different types of it, what are needs, what are purpose, how you design also, each and everything whatever we have discussed into the last session was a market research type. Now today we'll be moving with the help of two chapters. First, it is what a setting up of market research project, and there is one more chapter which has been related with the help of your presentation one. So like how you make a plan, and once the thing is you make a plan, you would make a report relating to this. So these are the two chapters what we will discuss here. Now before going into the internal depth of the chapter, we'll just go to the outline, because in outline whatever the points what we are discussing right now, which will be more benefit for you to go into it, internal concepts. Okay, now when we will be seeing today into the setting up of market research projects. Now whenever you are taking any kind of projects, so what are types of marketing research you do it? The project in the sense, whenever you are handling out with any kind of projects relating to the product, any kind of you want to know about any kind of, not even related with product, any kind of population, any kind of information, if you whenever you want. So it is one type of project only, like whatever, if you want to calculate anything. So that is why the thing is what, to calculate anything, to know about any such kind of information, we are having setting certain kind of market research, and each and every particular research, the thing is what, you will be getting different information, and from this different information which will be relevant for you when you do certain part of research. So that is why the thing is what, we are setting up with the projects. Now what are the projects into this? You will be learning different types of what are the projects. Next, what are different more strategies what you can use into whenever you want to calculate any kind of thing. So I will sort of examples also, certain problematic, non-problematic, each and every points you will be learning right now, and according to this, what are samplings, what are non-samplings, even what are sampling errors, what are non-sampling errors. So this all informations today you will be seeing into the chapter, and even you will be seeing about it, what are, how you frame the questionnaires whenever, because here you are setting up a market research project, whenever you are developing certain kind of research relating to, if whatever the projects it is given to you, whatever the project is allocated to you. So what are types of questionnaires you will be forming up, because whenever you do the research, it is an important question that you need to frame a questionnaires. Without framing a questionnaires, you won't be able to get a proper way of questions, and you won't be getting proper way of answer relating to that kind of it. So that is why we perform this type of questionnaire. So here you will be seeing what are different type of questionnaire, how you frame the questionnaires, and according to this, how the thing is the other person is responding to you. Once you will be completing out with this chapter, we'll move into the next, that is called the planning. What are the planning? How you do the planning? Into this, first you'll be seeing the research, setting up of market research, and next you'll be seeing a planning and completion of work, the next chapter what has been dealt. Planning and completion of a chapter means, in the sense, once your this research project it has been set properly, then afterwards what are the plannings you do? It means where did you get those data, you segregate those data, you keep it a proper way, you store the data, you form a questionnaires, what are questionnaires you form, what are the errors during whenever you're getting such kind of data. So on that time, if there is certain kind of error, so how you use that kind of error, and finally the thing is what you sorted out the problems, what are types of decision making process you are using on that time, and what is the use of computer, like after getting all this detail, so how you wind it up all the work, how your project it has been completed, like by using of computers. So at the end of it, you will be seeing out the use of computers when you are doing this part of research relating to the particular projects. And according to this, you will be getting an internal concepts related, that how you segregate the data, and then afterwards you fill it out. Now this was just a highlight of the point. It was just a summarization of whatever the concept we will be discussing right now. Now we'll be moving into the internal concept, so which will make you more easier, and you will be getting a depth knowledge relating to the particular one. Okay, so first we'll be going with the help of outlines. Now, first it is what are the objectives, means what are the purpose relating in making this type of settings in market research. Exercise planned systematically will give the desired result at the minimum cost and time. Why we set with the certain projects? Why we do? The main objectives of the setting up with the help of projects, market research project. The main thing it will be, first, it is a systematical process, means it will be going step by step. It is not like that we'll just run here and there. Each and everything will be a systematic process. Second, whatever the systematical process, whatever the analyzation will be doing out, their cost and time will be it won't be get waste. So here the thing is what, the resources won't be getting waste whenever the thing is what we are performing this type of it. So that is why my first important, it is what, whenever you are handling any kind of projects, and if you want to get those data into it, my first thing will be the resources should not waste. My cost, my time should not waste, and even the thing is what, my data, I will be planning that way that each and everything will be in the systematical process, because as if it has been systematical process only, then only we'll be moving, then only we'll be getting a data ahead properly. So my main motive for this chapter will be with the first point only, whatever it has been discussed. Okay, we'll move ahead. Now, detail from the sponsorer, that is important, because whenever you're handling out a certain projects, and into this you want to do the research, the first it is what, from you need to get some information from the sponsorer, that who is the sponsorer and what are types of information that person needs. So that is why according to this you can plan it, you can set your work according to that way, and then afterwards you can get out the data. The first it is what, the market research project could be set up from one's own company as an aid to managemental decision. So how you are handling of those projects, as the thing is according to the managemental decision, what are the research they want, how management into the organization, how the people require, how the management requires, what are types of research they require. So first it is what, you need to get a detail from the sponsorer. Next it is what, the needs for anonymity. Okay, next the known and prevalent competitive condition. Now here it is what, the needs, okay, for the anonymity. Here the thing is, the needs should be according to whatever the requirements it has been there, and the third point says about it, it should be according to the competitive condition only, means where you will be getting a proper way of data which will be fulfilled for the sponsors to give those answers. So that is why this is the first concept where you are collecting a data through with the help of a sponsorer, because from this sponsorer only you will be getting such kind of data. Now, organization setup. Now here the thing is what, first you got to know the information that you need to collect from the sponsorer. You got to know what are the main objectives of this to make a systematic plan where resources means your cost and time should not go waste. That is why these are the main objectives. That is why the thing is I'm taking that kind of project which has been related with the help of market research. So first I need to collect the data from the sponsorer. What type of sponsorer means how management required from a companies to get those information, what they require. So according to this I can make the plan systematically and I can collect the data. Next it is what, organization setup. Project leader. Now the main thing will be what, relating with the organization setup. Now first it is what, project leader will be there. Okay, there will be the project leader, because who will be guiding each and every people according to the whatever the requirements the people need. Next, it is what market research officer. There will be one person, that is our officer, who will be just guiding relating to whatever the information he requires. There will be one more market research assistant who will be just helping to the officers with this, like preparing certain paperwork or getting those data into it, or setting segregations of data into it. And last, it is what you require for the investigation. That is important. So whenever you're doing any kind of settings relating to the organization, you require the different types of measures, different types of people who will be performing relating to this, which will be make more easier to you and more proper way, where the thing is what you can plan according to the systematical zone of related of getting out all sort of data. So that is why we are setting up organization. Now, here whenever we have discussed about the investigator, who will be the investigator? Means the person who just collect those data, who get those data, who collect the information. So that is why the characteristic of a market research investigator. So whenever the market researcher will be there, who is doing investigation, means who is collecting the data, what are the characters should be there? Characteristics means in the sense, what are type of qualities should be there to that person. First, it is what he should be a good health in the sense where he will be getting all of data, and he will make the environment that way that the thing is he will be getting all those information. Next, extrovert means he should be an extraversion, where the thing is he will be getting, he means where he use the different types of techniques, different type of strategies to collect the data. Good personality, that is important, because getting good personality that makes more attraction relating to collecting those information. Fundamental knowledge, that is important. Certain advanced knowledge he used to have relating to a certain particular way of any kind of project, or already might be handled with a certain kind of project. You can say highly talented, you can say relating to not only based to only one subject but more than 2-3 subjects also, which will make him comfortable also to understand, to recognize all those concepts. Patience and perseverance, that is important. He should have that kind of quality, that is called a patience. His patient level should be proper, and even to the perseverance relating to whatever he wants, whatever he needs. So at least what he will be having that kind of patience level, that yes, he will be getting information on the particular period of time. So that is why he'll make himself that way, where he can get all sort of data properly. General attitude, obviously, when related to this kind of it, so ultimately general attitude what the other people are having out, so the same quality he'll be having out, which makes him more comfortable to get those information related to any kind of projects related. So according to this, if this kind of certain quality if he is having out, so ultimately the thing is what, he can be a good investigator. So he can collect, because he will become more smart and he can collect those data very easily, so which will be more comfortable to get those data, and even for the segregation, because as if this is there, so ultimately planning also makes an important concept, because he will be he will be making each and everything to step by step, where the work won't be getting to segregate also more, but it will be into the systematical process, which makes easier into the business organizations to run and to get those data. Now, here the main thing I have heard, with the help of costing, that is important. Like whenever you start up with any kind of projects, so the most important it is what you need to see the costing, means what are the cost of amount. So here I have given it, the cost of completing 200 phone survey can vary between $5,000 and $15,000 according to the hosted survey. Another marketing research company. A lot depends on the length of questionnaires mail. Survey cost between $5,000 and $7,000. See, there is a difference between. So like costing means it is what, whenever you want to start up with any kind of projects. So what will be the cost of particular things? Means, for example, here I want to do the 200 phone survey. If I want to do 200 phone survey, my cost will be between, first it will be from 5,000 and $15,000. But again the thing is what, according to the company, means if other person will be doing out relating to the same, the cost will be different. So here the thing is what are the difference, because according to this the informations will be different. So whenever you're using that kind of relation, or whenever you're getting any kind of data relating to this, so that is why we are performing this type of costing also. Whenever you're handling out with any kind of project, so it is an important sources to know about what is the cost, what are the informations you're getting out, how the thing is the informations you will be getting out, and the thing is what is the timing you will be taking, because into the costing whenever it has been there, so usually into the organization when you want to get it out all some product related information, like according to the, because according to the machineries it will be working out. So what is the time, what is the cost, what is it will be in weight, each and everything will be calculated, and according to this the thing is what, whichever is a good one, whichever is a better one, it will be treated as that way. So that is why we move with the help of the costing, because without this the thing is what, your each and every process which will be an incomplete. So that is why we perform this type of strategies whenever you're performing that kind of it. So that is why the costing makes an important concept, okay, relating to this type of research. Now, whenever market research projects which involve the costing, now whatever you have seen the costing relating to it, whenever you want to take a survey or you want to get it out, so what is the cost and what is the timing, and according to this you need to sit. Now here it is what market research project which involve the costing. Here there is certain market research project. Whenever you're taking any kind of project, so what are costs involved? What are the types of cost involved? First it is man-hour cost, means like in a particular, when you want to start it up with one biscuit, we want to start up with one biscuit. So when you're doing a manufacturing of that biscuit, what is the cost of that one biscuit? And second part, the thing is what, to prepare that one biscuit, how many men, one man is involved. So what is the cost of that one man? Hourly base and monthly base. So that is the first thing what it has been involved into the project. First you need to look after with the man-hour cost. You need to just check it out that how many, if you want to do 200 phone survey, what we can take a previous example, 200 phone survey. So if the one man is going out and getting those information, so what are the men is getting out, what is the how much hour he is taking to collect the information. So this you need to set it, because this is what you're setting up in the starting only the chapters you have seen about it. The main theme only of the chapter, it is what, setting up of the project market research. So whenever you need to see, that is why we are seeing here the costing related information. Why? Because when that person is doing a survey, it is not only just to get those information through primary and secondary, here also is there, but even the thing is, when we go into the internal depth of the research also, this is also been checked, that whenever we are doing any kind of survey, so how much time, what is the cost which will be given to the men, and how much the thing is the time will be taken by the men to collect those data. So that is the first important, that is called a man-hour cost, which will be checked. Next, traveling cost, obviously it will be checked. If the person is going from early in the morning at 10 o'clock and is coming back at 6 o'clock, so how much during that particular 5 to 6 hours, what are the information is getting out, how many people he is covering out, how many survey he is doing out, and from that survey how much which has been relevant to it. So according to this, what are the traveling costs, it will be there. So where he has been traveled into the one system to the other way. So what are types of different type of traveling sources also. So your traveling cost will be also involved whenever you are doing any kind of project related to the research. Daily allowances, that is also being checked here, because when related to costing, so your daily allowances, how much you are giving, how much the company is paying, some around for 500,000 rupees for a per day to that particular man, and according to this how much I am getting the return, that has been checked. Cost of stationery, postage, etc. Yes, that is important. If there is any kind of paper you require, any pen, pencil, sharpener, rubber during this type of when you're handling a project, so on that time certain kind of items you require to get those data and not to get those information. So that cost is also be involved into this. Typing and binding, etc. Obviously this will be there. Typing, what are the typing material, means you collect the data. If it is on the not into the proper format, just collected those data. So here the thing is, now you want to make it into the typing one, second into the binding also, you whatever the data are there, you want to make a booklet, and finally the thing is you bind it each and every data. So that is this. Overhead charges, if there is any kind of extra expenses whatever you have been done, or any kind of extra charges what you have been paid about it, so that type of charges which has been there. So these are the different types of charges, these are the different types of costing charges what it has been involved when you're performing a market research project, because then only the thing is we'll be getting an accurate information. It is a simple example what I can say. If I want to start up with one biscuit, if I want to start up with a biscuit, not one biscuit, I can say, if I want to start up with a biscuit, so now when I'm having that kind of machineries, so if I have a small machineries where I have so much of people are involved into a particular, that is a biscuit. Now when once the thing is the biscuits is coming out, okay, so from raw materials in the end of finishing goods. So into this only project relating to whenever you want to calculate those information of resources, that is the cost and time, both you want to get it out. So that is why here you need to check from raw material till the end of finishing goods. Raw material, it is what are the men's related, what are the men, how much the men is working out, how much hours he is going out, what are the survey he is doing, or what are the traveling costs he is getting, or any kind of extra charges, any kind of daily allowances if he is getting out, cost of stationery, postage, typing and binding if he is getting out. So this all the data are being calculated, and finally at the end of it I am getting out the biscuit into my hand. So then afterwards, once I do the costing related to it, finally I get to know in preparing one biscuit, there is a one man and he takes this much hours relating to produce that kind of biscuit. So this is also one type of project, but here it is what when doing, getting out the same information when you want to do the survey relating to it, when you want to get certain information relating to this. So that is why we perform this type of market research project, which is the survey what you do it. And without this survey, the thing is what you collect all the information, which will be more relevant to get all those data, and it will be easy to at least to get all those information easily. That is why we perform this type of information relating to this. Okay, so now this is the project related where we get all sort of information and all sort of data. Now research methods. Now what are the research methods? Now currently we have went with the help of projects. Now into this certain point there is a research method. Now see, I collect my data, taking a iPod to my class and passing it around for the students to it. I also had people take it at lunch and available the teacher. I did this because I love breakfast food, and I was curious to find out what food others thought were good at the breakfast. Means this is the what I need to collect those information. That first it is what when I collect the iPod to my college. So ultimately the thing is I pass it to the students. So how many students prefer that kind of it? So here this is one type of research method where you can collect the data. For example, this is the one. Next it is what I also had people take it at lunch and available the teacher. Means they are already given for the teachers also this kind of it. Next, I love a breakfast food and was curious to find out what food others thought though were good at the breakfast. Even means I carry a breakfast, but still I am very eager to know what are the other people brought about it. So these are the different research kind of method. I can say research, whenever you are doing the research, it's a common term. Research method, it is what? It is not a simple process, it's a huge process and it's a continuous process. Means whenever you want to collect the data, it is not like that. Whenever you are a simple one, if you are having a breakfast, it's a very good breakfast, but still you are curious to know about it, what the other people brought. So that is why you ask him. So that makes more way of getting those data. See, this is a one more good example related to what we commonly found out about it. And from this, at least what we are getting all sort of information. The does that people are preferring that kind of it or no. So this makes information more relevant to it to get the information. Now, I have one more that is called a sampling method. Just a minute. Okay, now here it is one type of it that is called a sampling method. Now already we got all the information. Now this is a one more concept where the project it is being deal, like whenever you want to start up with any kind of project relating to research. So from this is also one type of method which you can use, and finally with the help of using this kind of method which you will be getting out the information very easily. So sampling method, what exactly is a sample? Sample, it is what now you see here you want to calculate the population. Now population whenever you want, so ultimately you have so much of population, so usually when you want to cover it out, so how you will be getting those informations relating to this, where you can see those the male, female, and finally their child. So ultimately you will be making a pair relating to this. When I see the population means whenever if I want to do the survey, but relating not only related with population, so population I'll be getting out, but when I want to get it out the individually at home, how many people are staying out. So that is why from this, that is called a sampling. So what I can do from this type of group, I can collect how many people are there, how many people are there. So at each and every particular house, I'll go and ask to that kind of it. Means when I want to calculate certain kind of detail. So that is why what I used to do, I used to go there and I need to ask to certain kind of information, that at home, how many people are there, and second, who are male, who are female, and then afterwards, how many child are there. So this is also one type of population where a sample you can say, and from the samples I can get it out. I have so much of people here relating when I'm calculating a population, but when I want to see the samples, means if I want to calculate a particular way, so this is also one type of sample method. And from this sample method, I have two things more. Okay, now here you can see the bifurcation of this two. You can see the arrow, and from this arrow you can see this bifurcation, how it has been there. The statistical analyzing on sampling. So here it is what from this population, if I want to get this type of sample, I'll be calculating according to the statistical method. Statistical mean in the sense how many people are there at home, and even the thing is if you have a child, so how many childs you have. So according to this, now you can see from this I have bifurcated to this. So from here the thing is this is also connected from this. Now, from this only I'll be getting out this particular. Now, here I'll be getting a samples relating to this. Now, according to this, I'll be classifying relating to the analyzing of data into the particular format. Again, the thing is what population after statistical analyzation. Once the thing is what if from this I get this type of information, finally at the end of it, population after statistical analyzation, I'll be getting a proper way of bifurcation relating to all this thing. That is why this is called one type of sampling method. And with the help of sampling method, this is also which is being used whenever you are doing any kind of market research relating to it. So whenever you are setting up with any kind of project, but when you want to calculate it relating to the population, so you can use this type of sampling method, which will be more relevant to get all those information relating to this. So when I only want a population, I'll be getting a number of population. But when I want to check it out, if there is what are samples if I want to calculate. So from this, what I'll do, I'll go into the particular place, I'll go into this, I'll collect the information primary by the through of primary sources, that is door to door. I'll go and get those information, then how many people are there at home, then afterwards at particular house how many people are there, how many childs are there, that's this all. And again the thing is I'll segregate according to this. So this is also one type of statistical way of analyzing of data relating to the research. So that is why this is called the exact meaning of a sample. Now into this type of it, what are the main objectives? What are the main objectives of doing this type of sampling method? Learn the reason for the sampling. As we collect this information, so finally you will be getting a proper way of information relating to this type of sampling. What is exactly of sampling? Develop an understanding about different sampling methods. As we use this type of sampling methods, so ultimately you get it about the different methods. What are the different methods where you can use this type of, you understand properly the different type of sampling methods. Distinguish between probability and non-probability samples, what I've said to you. Here you will be getting a clear-cut idea, clear-cut methods relating to the two way of bifurcation related, that is a probability and non-probability in sampling. Discuss the relevant advantages, disadvantages of each sampling method. Into this, you will be also learning what are the benefits you get it as if you use the sampling methods, and what are you get limitations relating to what kind of sampling methods as if you are using out. So that is why these are the different types of objectives. That is why we do with the help of sampling. So whenever the project related information, whenever you want to calculate, we go with the help of this type of points. We'll just move ahead with the help of methods and all, which will be more relevant for you at least to understand. Now, before at least moving into it, this already we have been seen, already we are doing a research relating to it. So at least what is a research? A scientifical way, it's a systematical, okay, the basic thing, it is what whenever you are doing a research, whenever you are handling it with any kind of project, so what are the basic things, what do you mean by research into that kind of projects whenever you are getting into that kind of hands into it. So first it's one type of systematical, controlled, amicable and critical investigation of natural phenomena, guiding by theory and hypothesis about the presumed relations among such phenomena. Research is an organized and systematical way of finding answer to the questions. So that is why this is called, it's a one type of controllable, systematical, amicable, where theoretical and practical experience and getting out certain experiments, certain tests related to it, finally the thing is what you are getting an answer relating to particular questions, and which the question it is more relevant, more more way of harsh, and from that kind of it you're getting out the data, you're systematically you're analyzing each other, and finally the thing is you're getting the answer relating to the particular question. That is why the thing is this is called a research. Now we'll go ahead. Now, we have discussed about sampling right now, so that only the samplings related, you have a 3 factors, and from the 3 factors the thing is what, it has been influenced by the sample's representative. Now, the 3 factors that influence the sample representativeness, it is sampling procedure, okay, like this makes more innovative, more influence relating to do that kind of sampling method. First it is what, sampling procedure. This is very easiest way where you can collect those data relating to the certain population, what we have been seeing right now. Sample size, you can get those information through the size, and participation, the people who are been participating into it, the person you can say response, who are giving the response relating to the particular way, and from this type of it you are getting the data, and which data will be more relevant for you to understand for the longer period of time. When might you sample the entire population? When your population is very small, when you have the extensive resources, when you don't have expected a very high response. So these are the questions, and from the sampling type of method, this type of questions related, you are getting a particular answer. So that is why we are using this type of sampling method, which makes more easier, more convenient for the people to understand about why we use this type of sampling method into the market research, which makes more easier to know about the populations, you can say a demographical way of getting those information, and even the thing is what, you will be getting the standard of the living of the people also according to this way. So this is also one type of sampling method which you can use, and from this at least you will be getting all the information through by getting influenced by the particular things, that is the procedure, size and participation. And from this the thing is what, your this 3 points will be properly, it will be covered, and which will be more relevant to it, you get such kind of information. Now, how you get a sampling breakdown? Now see the same what we have discussed right now through the chart. First, what is sampling? So from this only you can rectify relating to what kind of it answer you get. I have given here the word sampling breakdown. How the samplings have been breaking down means from where it is getting a response, and from the response the thing is finally the thing is what, you're getting information. Now, who do you want to journalize to? Okay, now you can see the answer, that is called a theoretical population. Next, what populations can get access to to study the population. How can you get the access to them? The sampling frame. Who is in your study? The sample. Now we can see with each and every point which are being interrelated with each other, and finally the thing is you are getting a breakdown relating to that kind of particular. Now so you can see you have so much of different types of people relating to it. You can see the population. Now from this populations, if you want to calculate out the samples, so what you can do from this, the thing is you can segregate relating to this, and finally after segregation, finally the thing is you will be getting different types of background relating to this. Now from that populations you get individually their views, their perceptions, their thought, and according to that their beliefs and all. So which makes my study of populations related properly, and from this I can get the samples related which will be more relevant for me to know about the market research relating to it. And according to this I can handle out the project also to my company like that. Now already types of samples, I've already said to you there are different types of methods what I've been said to you. Types of samples you can say probabilistic and non-probability, probability and non-probability. These are the two different types of samples have been there, and from this type of samples the thing is what we are getting out those information in each and every particular period of time whenever you want to get it out any information. So from this type of it you getting information, so which makes more my research very simple and very easy way to get information. So that is why now we'll be moving into the internal way. What are the basic means? Now first we'll go to the point, that is systematical random sampling, simple random sampling, systematical random sampling, stratified random sampling, multi-stage sample, multi-phase sample, cluster sample. Non-probability, it is convenience sample, purposive samples, and quota samples. Now these are the different where you will be seeing out internally depth, because nowadays whenever the thing is you want to collect the data, we go internal to the point, and which where the thing is what from this point at least what you get each and every information which will be more relevant for the business whenever you want to start up it up. Okay, so first most important we'll be going with the help of what are the probability and non-probability samples. Now probability, now here I have given certain definitions also, and definitions relating to this, certain examples which will be directly relating from this only statements you will be getting a proper way of information relating, because I have given into the depth relating to this what is probability and non-probability. Now probability, two general approach to the samples are used in the social science research. With the probability samples or elements in the population have some opportunity of being included in the samples, and mathematical probability that any one of them can be selected can be calculated. Now here it is what probability is what, wherever whatever the informations you want, for example person and householding, whatever the informations you want, finally you get it into only one type of sense. So that is why use any one of them which you can be selected and which will be calculated easily, which whatever the informations you want to calculate into the single term. So finally according to this you will be getting the information. If you want to get the information relating to any person, any householding related to it, so that is why from this you can get any sort of information relating to this, that is called a probability samples. You can say two general approach for two samples are used in the social science research. Usually whenever social science research, whenever you want to calculate any kind of information, so that is why we perform this type of probability samples related, where from where you get an easy way of calculation what you can use. Now when I'm using non-probability, now here you can say with non-probability sample is a constant population, elements are selected on the basis of the availability. For example, because they are voluntary or because of the research person judged, they are representative. The consequences is that to unknown portion of the population is excluded, those who did not volunteer. One of the most common types of non-probability examples are called convenience sample, not because such samples are necessarily easy to recruit, but because the researcher use whatever individuals are available rather than selecting from the entire population. Now here it is what Here, from a single point of view, what you can collect it out. From here, you cannot collect any single point of view of it, because there are so much of people, and from that so much of people, at least what you just collect randomly relating to this. So that is called a non-probability samples, and this is what the probability samples, from where you can use certain kind of calculation which will be more easier for it, and it is not so much type of internal depth where you need to go, and where here you are going about it. So certain researcher use this type of non-probability samples, and from this at least what you will be getting certain unknown portion, because here each and every population is related, you don't get any information, you just randomly pick up with a certain type of people, and from this at least what certain researcher who do the research relating to this. Okay, so here these are the two types of different probability and non-probability. Now internal to this we'll go, just a minute. Now, here I have more information related to probability samples. A probability sample scheme is one in which every unit in the population has chance greater than 0 of being selected in samples, and this probability can be accurately determined. Now, that's what I said to you previously. Into this, it starts from the 0, which will be greater than the 0, and from this only the thing is you get all the information, and from this only the information, finally the thing is you prepare an accurate data relating to this, and finally according to that type of only data, the thing is you select those data, and finally the thing is you store according to that way. When every element in the population does have same probability of selection, this is known equal probability of selection design. Means if all the populations, if having the same accurate information relating to it, so it was been treated as an equal probability of selecting that kind of people. Such design are also referred to as self-weighted, because all the sample units are given in the same way. If it is on the equal probability, so ultimately the weightage it has been given to each and every one. So according to this only the information, the thing is what you are using ahead to get also information through the sampling method. So this is also one type of it, that is called a probability samples. Now into the probability samples, means as if I already said, you have a different types. And from this different types, the internal concept, first it is what into the probability samples which are been included, and from this the thing is what variety of different type of probability informations related samples you will be getting out. Simple probability, systematical samples, random stratified random sampling, cluster sample, multi-state sampling, and multi-phase sampling. Now each and every particularly will go ahead. Okay, now first it is what you will be seeing. Now, here again non-probability samples. Okay, we have been said right now what are the non-probability samples. Any sampling method where some elements of population have no chance of selection. Now here you can see no chance of selection, where there is no chance of selection. They are just randomly they have been checked. They are sometimes referred to out of coverage or under coverage where they are, or where the probability of selections can't be accurate determined. Means whenever you are calculating out, so if from the calculation if you are getting an accurate one, that is called a probability. But if you are not getting of any information which has been accurately properly it has been calculated, if it is not properly calculated, so finally that particular population comes into the non-probability sampling out. Now, it involves the selection of elements based on assumption regarding the population of interest which form the criteria of selection. Hence, because the selection of elements is non-random, non-probability samples are not allowed in estimating of sampling errors. So, if this type of non-randomly and non-probability, if this kind of it where the information you are not getting accurately, directly it will be estimated as a sampling error, where the thing is you are not getting a proper type of sampling related. Now, here see I have given certain examples to it. We visit every household in a given street and interview the first person to answer the door in any household with more than one occupant. This is the non-probability sample, because some people are more likely to answer the door. Example, an unemployed person who spend most of the time at the home is more likely to answer than the employer housemates who might be at work when the interviewer called. And it is non-practices to calculate this probability. Now means if if I want to collect certain kind of related information, so if I'm going to door and I'm getting a proper equivalent answer relating to that particular thing, so finally that comes to my probability. But when non-probability relating to it, whenever I'm going out, the people who on that time should be there at workplace, but if that person is at house, so finally if I want to get the data relating to this, that person is not accurately, he is not giving me the data relating to it, to whom I'm asking, he is not giving an answer, but other person is asking during that particular time. So that comes into my non-probability. So here the answer is not randomly, it is just only taken by with the help of certain kind of information, just selected, it has been selected randomly, and according to this you are giving an information relating to the this type of non-probabilistic sampling methods. Okay, now again you will be seeing the types relating to this. What are the different types in non-probability way? First it is what accidental sampling, quota sampling, and purposeful samples. In addition, non-responder effects may turn any probability design into the non-probability design if the characteristic of non-respondents are not well understood, since no non-respond effectively modify each element probability of being sampled. Now here you can say into this, if it is not responds properly, if certain kind of non-respond, non-understood, or non-represented properly, the efficiency and directly modified, it shows directly to go into the non-probabilistical samples, where the thing is what you're not getting information accurately, and from this you need to calculate certain kind of information. Now, as already we have been seen previously, first that is the probability samples, and into this probability samples related to it, we have seen different types relating to probability. Now first it is what simple random sample. Now, as we are getting internally into it, now the thing is what simple random sampling means. You are just calculating the information, you are getting those information just randomly relating to it, you are collecting those information just randomly to the particular way of population related whenever you need. Now, whenever you are having the project, now first it is what? Application when the population is small, homogenic, and readily available. The first it is what? Where you don't have a large population. Now, what is a simple random sampling? The first it is a small and homogenical way, means a very small way where you can just get the information easily and readily. Next, all subsets of the frames are given an equal probability into this small population, where least population, where each and every people are given the equal importance to this. Each elements to the frame does have an equal probability of selection, and into this each and every people who are being there, so equal way of contribution and equal way of description it is given to each and every people. It provides for a greater number of possible samples, and from this at least you will be getting the sampling more and more relating to greater importance relating to this. This is done by assigning a number of each unit into the sampling frame. And as the thing is what, where if there is a least populations, if there is no any type of more harsh work, so ultimately from this randomly you can just calculate those people and you can just place it out each and every people properly, and from this you will be getting an equal information and proper information relating to this. A table of random numbers or a lottery system is used to determine which units are been selected. So into this, one type of if you want to calculate a random way, so either you calculate by number or either you give either you give a certain type of lottery system, and from this type of it, whichever will be the higher, whichever will be the selected person. So according to this, randomly the thing is the samples, and from the population the thing is a least way of population the people are being selected. And according to this, finally the thing is from where you get an accurate information to your business and to your projects, which makes more effectivity. So that is why this is also one type of it, that is called a simple random sampling, where very least people in a homogenic way, where the thing is what you get information easily. But only just the thing is what, if you want to get those information, either you can do the numbering one or either you do with the lottery system. So from where you get information easily. So this is what the first, that is called a simple random sampling. Now, I have more internally to this. That is, estimates are easy to calculate. Obviously, as if I said, because it's a very least. So, from the least, at least what you can estimate according to this, and finally, you get the information easily. Simple random sampling is obviously a EPS design. Okay, already the thing is what this will be an easy way where you can get, you can design according to your way, and finally the thing is what you will be getting a data properly. But not all the EPS designs are simple and random. You cannot say it's all, but the thing is because as it comes into non-probability, so that is why you cannot say it is for the all. But the thing is what at least you will be getting, you can take a help of it, and according to this you can design. Disadvantages, sometimes what there are the only not even the benefits you have the unbenefits or disbenefits also. If the sample frame are large, this method is impracticable. If into this when you want to now here the thing is in simple random, the main thing it is what here the people are very less. If it is on a small base, but if it is a large, so this type of sampling it's not used. So that is why I have used this method is impracticable, means you cannot use this type of it where you won't be getting a proper way of answer. Minority subgroup of interest in the populations may not be present in the sample in sufficient numbers for the study. Now if there is any kind of minority related or certain subgroups are being prepared, so ultimately relating to this type of it and you want to calculate more and more details certain, so this sample set is not being used because this is only for the small where you can get or where the information of with all the peoples are equal. So from the equal, so according to this, if all the people are equal, so you just only need to calculate randomly relating to this. That is why it is called simple random sampling relating to this. Okay, now we'll move ahead. Now, I have went with the first, that was a simple random. Now next it is what systematic sampling. Systematic, it is would be what step to step, whatever the information you require, all the informations are step by step, and finally according to this you are getting out the information easily. Now see. Systematic sampling rely on arranging the target population according to some ordering scheme and then selecting the elements at the regular interval through the order list. What I've said to you right now. What a systematically means, if you want to calculate a certain population, you're placing out each and every people into step by step. And according to this, the thing is what you're selecting a people. Systematical sampling involves a random start and then procedures with the selections of every case elements from then onwards. In the case means population size, sample size means here if the thing is what if I want to start up with this type of sampling method, so what I can do into this, I first just randomly I need to pick it up one, and from that part of population again the thing is what I can start with the population from this size to this size. If I just randomly pick up, for example, if I say start from first. So again the first, second, third, fourth, fifth it will be there. But if I say start from the descending order, so 10, 9, 8, 7 it will be there. So this is one type of systematical method. So it is depend upon the way you need to take those randomly you need to just pick it out the numbers and finally you can start from there. And according to this the thing is population size, sample size you can collect it out according to using this type of systematical way. It is an important that starting point is not automatically the first and the least, but in the instant of randomly choosing from within the first two case elements into the list, means the same what I said to you right now. It is not like starting point is not automatically the first in the list. It is not like that I'll be starting from one. I can start from anywhere, but the thing is what my place from this collecting anywhere, and finally the thing is keeping each and every points into the systematical zone. So that is why the thing is what I can calculate the population size according to by calculating the random picking of this type of elements. A simple example would be selecting every 10th name from the telephonic diary and every 10th samples also referring to the samplings with a skipping of 10th. Now if I want to calculate any kind of population, so if I want to have any kind of person related number, so what I guess you can start after 10. So that any picking of the number and then I can start with the number. So that is why this is called a systematical sampling. And from that only number, the thing is I'll continue ahead. I'll move ahead relating to that only particular way. So this is also one type of sampling method which makes a systematical process very easy as way. Now, I have one more that is called stratified samples. Now, stratified samples, it is what, where a population a number of distinct category, the frame can be organized into separate strates. Each stratum in then samples as an independent subpopulation out of which individual elements can be randomly selected. Now, your stratified means in the sense you need to distinguish out each and every people. This will be in this category, this will be in this category, he will be in this category. And then after you need to prepare a subgroup relating to this, and from this subgroup the thing is what you need to select a particular, randomly you need to just check it out that kind of person which is relevant for this kind of particular from which I can get an information. Every unit in this random has been chance of being selected. Now as whatever the units have been placed here, whatever the differences have been placed, a distinct point of it. So from here any of the people, any of the groups can be participate relating to this, means it will be selected any of the group relating to this using same sampling fraction. All the status ensure proportion representative in the samples. Now as sampling related to this, I'll prepare a fraction related, I'll just calculate according to that way, and from this, that type of calculation I'll keep one representative, and from that one representative who will be representing relating to that particular point of it. Adequate representative of minority subgroups of interest can be ensured by stratifying and varied sampling fraction between stratified as required. So according to this type of only the thing is what I'll be preparing a group, and according to that group the thing is what I'll be getting the information which will be stratified according to my samples, and means into this I need to just subdivide the groups, and from this subdivision of groups any groups can be selected, and from this group any if it has been stratified, so according to that selection the thing is I'll proceed my projects relating to according to that way. So from this I'll be getting the information relating to this. So this is also one type of method where I can organize relating to the stratified related the sampling. Now see, here I have given draw samples from which each stratum. Now see, you can say different clothes have the people has been worn relating with the women and relating to men. So I just make a circle. You can see it of the circle relating to this. Okay, and from this circle the thing is what I'll just keep it out, this people like that, this people like that, this people like that, this people like that. I'll distinguish each and every people, and finally the thing is randomly I'll select any kind of person relating to. But the thing is what it has been, this type of selection methods will be given for all, like whoever can be selected. It is not like that for the only for the particular it will be selected. It can be whoever can be selected relating to this. So this is also one type of stratum method which you can use into the sampling, and from this at least what you will be getting a data equivalent to it. Yeah. I have one more that is called cluster sampling. Cluster sampling, it is what, for example, two-stage sampling. First stage of samples or an area of chosen, and second stage of sample are respond within the through the area selected. Now here two way of different type of process will be calculated, that is called a cluster sampling. Means one from where I've chosen, and second one the thing is from which area I've been chosen, from that I'm selecting out. So these are the two ways that is called a cluster. Means I have a group of the people, and from this who I am being chosen, and from the chosen the thing is what I'll be selected with the help of that part of it. Population divided into the cluster of homogeneous units, usually based on geographical convenience. Now where I use this type of clustering sample, usually into the geographical area, because where I want to get it out all information more and more. So that is why I use this type of information, which will be more easier for me at least to get the information which will be from where I can select and from where I can choose also. Sampling units are group rather than individual. Now into this the thing is what it will be not related with it will be related with the group, not with the help of an individual. A sample of such clusters is then selected. As the thing is, if this type of stage it has been there, so finally from this the thing is what such cluster it has been selected, and according to that type of selection the thing is finally I am using this type of samples ahead. Last, all units from the selected clusters are being studied. Whatever the two stage I am developing here, from this two stage, the thing is what, each and everything has been learned, and from this study, the thing is what, I am getting the information from this, and according to this I can make a sampling methods relating to providing that kind of information. I have multi-stage sampling. Multi-stage sampling means here more than two or more samples, and according to this type of samplings, I'm getting out information. See, complex form of cluster samples in which two or more level of units are embed one in the others. Now here multi-stage means it is what, as I've used this type of, but cluster into more than two. Cluster into the cluster I have two things, but if there is more than two related, two or more than it has been related, so I use this type of, that is called a multi-stage way, where I can get the information relating to this. So that is why I use this type of information, which will be easy for me at least to get all the information relating to the others. The first stage, now here it is what I have different, means where I am seeing more than 2 to 3 I am seeing about it. Now first stage, random numbers of districts chosen in all states. Here I will be getting out randomly information, a particular way from where I am collecting the information. Next, it is what, followed by the random numbers of talukas and village. Means here I am getting more than, if I want to get internal information, more states related to information, so I will be getting a random numbers relating to the taluka also, means if I want to know about district. Second, if I want to know the village related to it, so according to that part of it, I can select the data, and according to this I can segregate that type of data. The third unit will be an house. Even the thing is what I have, means here I am not only checking the population, I'm not only getting the how many people are there, but here where there are the more the thing information I require. How many houses are there, what are the talukas are there, what are the village are been there, how many people are staying about it, if there is a multi-stage related information relating to this. So from this information I'm getting out the such kind of data relating to this. All ultimate unit is house, for instance. Selected at the last steps are the survey, as all the informations are being collected, and each and every particularly according to this I do the survey and I make the information relating to this. So this is a multi-state sample where I'm not only selecting only the population. Now whatever we have been seeing, simple random, systematical random, we have been seeing, we have only calculated a particular thing, but into this here the thing is, if you want to calculate more than, so that is more than two or more than relating to this. So you can use this type of sampling, that is called a multi-stage sampling. I have one more samples. Multi-phase, okay, where usually this type of samples are used into the hospitals to get rid of the information more. Part of the information collected from the whole samples and the part from the sub-samples. Means once the thing is into this multi-phase, means it is what, from this particular only I got the information, and the same if I have one more, that also from that the thing is I'm getting information, the part from the whole and from the other part, sub-part relating to that kind of it, so I'm getting information from there also. In the table survey, empty in all the case, that is phase 1, X-ray chest in empty plus positive case, that is phase 3, scriptum examination in X-ray to the case 4, case 3. Survey by such procedure is less costly, less laborized, and more purposeful. Now, into one only machine, means one only, if I'm saying out one only machine, I'm getting so much of information related to this. Means into that one only machine, I have so much of different type of phases relating to it, where I can get a chest X-ray. Second, from this chest X-ray, the thing is I can examine it the proper way of symptoms, internal way of parts relating to this. So this, from this only where I'm getting multi-phase way of samples relating to, as I'm getting all sort of information. So I'm only into the one only machine, I'm getting so much of different part of information. So I have a 3-phase of this machineries also. So for like survey by such procedure, means if I do the survey relating to calculate the data relating to this, so this will be less costly, okay, where you should not go for the particular I'm paying the cost. I'm paying only for the one machine, from into the one machine I'm having the, and that one only machine having the different phase, and from that only I'm getting an information. So it is a less costly, less laborized, and more purposeful, and this is more useful relating to this, which makes more easier, more informative way where I can get the sampling related information relating to this. Now, I have one more that is called matched random samplings. Means already random samplings are there. So according to this, I need to match, and according to this, I'll be getting on. Now see, a method of assigning participants to the group in which pairs of participants are the first match on some character, and then individual assigning randomly to the group. Now first it is what? Now into the first match, okay, some characteristics and the individual assigning randomly to the group. Now here, if I want to get up this type of details, so this type of methods have been there. So first only to the group, I would just want to calculate any kind of people, and in the other group I want to just calculate any kind of people. So here I'm randomly just mixing out those people, and finally I'm getting information. Now see, the procedure for matching random sampling can be briefly with the following content. Two samples in which the members are clearly paired or are matched exploits by the research. For example, IQ measures or pair of identical twins. Now you can, if you, for example, here match random samplings. If there is a two twins, okay, if there is a twins, and into this twins, I want to check the IQ. So from this IQ, I can check the mental level. So randomly, I can just pick it out, and I can just ask any questions related to this. So where the thing is, I will be getting an information relating to this. Those samples in which the same attributes or variables is measured twice on each subject under different circumstances, commonly recalled as a repeated measures. If the same answer I'm getting from both the sides, if they are twins, I'm asking the questions to their both, and if the same answers as if I measure, so it has been called as a repeated measures. But if it is been not getting out any kind of answer, so it is called a matched random samplings relating to this. Example excludes the time of group of athletes for 1,500 meters before and after a week of special training, the milk yield of the cow before and after being fed at a particular diet. Now see, here you have given the two phases relating to it. If you want to make a run to the 15,000 meters, 1,500 meters relating to this. So if what will be your preparation before, and once if you are getting special kind of training to this, so what will be there for you after. So this is randomly what you are calculating of the data, and according to that type of related data, the thing is what you are getting a samples related which has been collected. So here you can see there are so many different types of its sources where the thing is the sampling methods are being used, and from the sampling methods at least it makes it very easier to get all sort of information relating to this, which makes more easier to get all information relating to the relating type of sampling way. Okay, I have one more. Now quota sampling, now here we are into the secondary one, okay, that is a non-probability samples. What are the quotas, and from this quotas the thing is what you're getting information. The population in the first segments into the mutual exclusive subgroup just as stratified sampling, then judgment used to select subjects or a unit from such a sample segment based on specific proportion. For example, an interviewer may told to the sample 200 females and 300 males between the age of 45 to 60. It is the second step which makes the technique one of the non-probability sample. In this sample, the selection of the sample is non-randomly into this non-probability when it is a quota system. So here only into this quota it has been said this is the male and this is the female, and this from this to this age should be there into this particular male and into the particular female. So this is just a quota system where you are not aware with the proper of information, because here you are not getting an accurate information relating to this. So that is why which comes in non-probability. But into non-probability the thing is sampling when you are calculating. So here it is what the segmentations where you are using out just where the thing is you are having a judgment relating to the particular subject which is been used into the quota system, and here it has been already been said like from this age to this age, this year will be the male, year will be the females, and here you need to place yourself that way. Now I have one more example, that is interviewer might be tempted to the interview those who look most helpful. The problem is that these samples may be biased because not everyone gets a chance of selection. This random elements, it is a greater weakness. Random elements, it is a greater weakness, and the quota versus probability has been matter of controversial for the many years. Now, into this type of it related to it, if you're randomly the thing is into the interviewers, it will be selected because the person will be more helpful relating to the any kind of information as if he wants. So from this is also one type of quota related sampling. So from this quota related samplings, you can just get it out, the segregation of the two way of samples. So from this type of samples, the thing is what you will be getting an information for the quota related. So it will be coming into the non-probability samples. I have one more into the non-probability, that is called convenience samples. Convenience samples, it is what certain sometimes known as a grab or an opportunistic samples or accidental or the haphazard samples. This type of non-probability samples which involves the samples being drawn from that part of population which is close to the hand, that is readily available and convenient. Convenience sampling, it is what here you are not segregating any data or you are not getting any information. Here the thing is what information is readily available and which makes the convenient for to get the information, and then afterwards you can get those samples very easily, which you can show it to the people, and from this the thing is you get a proper way of research relating to the information, and from this you can analyze the data into depthly. Now, the researcher used such a samples cannot scientifically make generalize about the total population from the sample because it would not be representative enough, because even the researcher has not thought about it. This is just one type of it where information you will be getting a convenient way of sampling, but the thing is researcher are not using this, because what happens sometimes the thing is the information is up and down, you are not getting a proper way of accurate of information relating to this. So that is why the thing is what this can't make a enough way of representative way of samples which won't be more convenient. For example, if the interviewer was to conduct a survey at a shopping center early in the morning on giving date, the people that she could interview would be limited to those given there that given time, which would not be represented the view of the other member of the society in such a area. If the survey was conducted at a different time of the day and the several times per week, this types of samples is most useful for the pilot testing. Now usually see, now for example here it has been given, if they want to do the interview and they want to do the survey relating to the shopping center, they want to conduct the certain survey relating to the shopping center, but if they do in the early in the morning, they won't be getting so much type of people. You will be getting information, but that more information you will be getting if the people you will be coming into the evening one. So that is why this is called a convenient sampling, where you will be getting information, already information are stored, but the thing is what you are not having a proper way of time, and with the help of that, only with the help of few people, that information is not proper. So that is why the thing is what, if getting early in the morning only, so better early in the morning or just before like on the second half also, if you're going out to collect those doing for the survey, it won't be relevant. But if you're going at the afternoon or evening time, if you're going out, so at least where you'll be getting more people and the area and society will be covered more. So from this you will be getting more information which will be more relating to this type of convenience sampling. So that is why this type of sampling, it has not been mostly been aware, because you are not getting a proper way of accurate information. So that is why it comes into the non-probability samples. In social science research, snowball sampling is a similarly techniques where existing study subjects are used to recruit more subjects into the samples. Now into this already the subjects have been there, and from this subject the thing is what, it is already been taught to that person. So from that only the thing is he just randomly it has been selected, so that is we will be getting a convenient relating to this, but only related to the particular subject. But if this kind of, if other subject, if I'm asking out and that person is mum, he is not speaking anything, so that is why the thing is this sample is not relevant to that kind of person. So that is why this is called a convenient samples relating to this. So it comes into the non-probability. Now I have one more which comes in non-probability, that is purposeful sampling or a judgmental sampling. Into this, just only you just judge the people, you just do whatever the survey you want to do it. So from this only you go through the judgment, and from the judgment only the thing is what you're collecting those information relating to the non-probability. The researcher choose the sample based on who they think would be appropriated for the study. Okay, so here the thing is what, choose the sample. Here it is what, choosing the sample. Means it is just a judgment type. This is very primary when there is a limited number of people that have the expertise in the area being researched. Now already when the person is doing an expertise relating to research, so only just not only asking some questions relating to particular point, there only leaves people just randomly that person is picking up and doing a judgment relating to this to get the information from that particular way. So this is also, it is non-convenient, so that is why it comes into non-probability way of sampling, where here it is only done through the expertise, and from this only the judgment it has been done. I have one more sampling method that is called a panel sampling. Panel sampling, it is what, where group of the people are being traced, and from that group of the people the thing is what, the informations are being collected from that, and from that group of the people only, from that information which will be more relevant for it, which will be kept for the longer period of time, and even the thing is what, which will be useful for getting those information. Method of first is selection a group of participants through a random sampling method, and then asking that a group for the same information again several times over a period of time. Therefore, each participant in given same survey or interview at 2 or a more time point, each period of data collected called a waves. Now here it is what, it's a one type of random sampling method what you are using about it. It comes into the probability when panel sampling is related, if you want to calculate. So what you can do, randomly you can form a group, and from that you need to give certain particular questionnaires to that, and from that questionnaires you just need to wait for the answer relating to this. So, and again the thing is the same question it is given to the other group also. You need to just wait for the answer. So here it is what, the questions here whenever it has been given to each and every, and whatever the answer you are getting, it's just waving off to each and every people. This sampling methodology oftenly chosen for large scale or a national wide study in order to guard changes in population with regards to any number of variables, from chronic illness to the job stress to the weekly food expenditure. So usually this type of sampling method, it has been used where there is a large population, and from this large population the thing is where you can get different type of information relating to the particular type of groups related. Panel samplings can also be used to inform researcher about within the person's health changes due to the age, or helps explain changes in continuous depending on variables such as spousal interaction. So here you can have this type of sampling method usually by the researcher, where the thing is related health way of changes. If the group want to share relating to it, like what are the health changes they have been there. So according to the panel wise, they will be giving such kind of information that what are currently the people are facing relating to this type of it. So according to this, the researcher will be just doing a study, and they will be getting information relating to this, and finally they will make a note relating to this. There have been several proposal methods of analyzing the panel sampling data, including growth curves also. Now into this, it is not like that only just getting a sample data, but even the growth, how the growth are being there. So you can use a bar diagram relating to the graph, you can use relating to this. So from this, at least what you will be getting a samples into the particular way of panels, and from the panels at least whatever the data will be relevant for it, which you can use for the longer period of time to covering out all sort of information relating to this. Now, choose of the sampling design. Now, as if when you're getting out all those design, all those information relating to it, so like here you have to choice of sample design, because whatever the information you're calculating, so how you will make a design, it should be a cost, that is important. The cost should be proper. It should be not high also that much, but cost effectively will be there. Next, accuracy, that is important. It should be accurate, means a clear-cut data, whatever you're calculating out. Use of finding, that is important. From where did you you collect those data that should be there, you need to design according to that way. Availability of electronic data process, even you will be checking out through which electronic process the thing is the data you're storing out and you're keeping out for a longer period of time. Comparison between studies, obviously that is important, because whenever you're getting out those information, so what type of sampling methods you have been used, and according to the sampling method what you have studied, what is going into the current, and that sampling you just need to compare relating to this, which makes your research design more convenient to it, and you can at least spread certain new types of words relating to, which will be more convenient for you to understand about the research methods also, and even to the sampling methods, how you can design and how you can frameworks. Now, in questionnaires in clinical research, now here, what are the into the clinical research, what are the questionnaires you need to gather? Because without questionnaires, the thing is what your research is incomplete. Now, much of the data in the clinical research is gathered using questionnaires or interviews. Now, usually whenever you're doing clinical research relating to so much of questionnaires and interviews are being conducted, and through this, so much of questions are been getting. The variety of results depend on quality of this instrument. Good questionnaires are difficulty to construct, bad questionnaires are difficulty to analyze. Yes, this is important. What happens whenever you get a good questionnaire, but the thing is what to frame the answer, it becomes very difficult. But whenever you get a bad questionnaire, it becomes very difficulty to analyze, like exactly what is the data. So that creates a problem relating to this. Difficulty to design for the several reasons. Now here, what are the difficulties you frame whenever you form when you design any kind of related with samples or any kind of design research related? Each question must provide a valid and reliable measure. That is important. Whenever what are difficulty you face, that each in questions whatever you're getting out, so according to this you will be getting a valid and reasonable measure, means reasonable data. The question must be clearly communicated. The researcher intentions to the survey respond, that is important, because my researcher will be directly having the attachment relating to whatever the survey I have done. So according to this response, it should be matched. The questions must be assembled on the logical, clear instrument that flows naturally and will keep in the respondent sufficient interest to continue for the cooperation. That is important. Whenever you're framing a questionnaire, frame that kind of questionnaire which is logical, which is clear instrument that flows naturally, which will keep him respond sufficiently to get interest, means he should be having that kind of interest directly connected to it. So where the thing is he can give it that kind of answer also, he can give it properly. So that is why, but these are the difficulties what you frame it, what you get it during when you're designing any kind of questionnaire panel. Now, quality aim in this survey research. Now, whenever you're doing, what are the types of quality should be there when you're doing a survey research? The goal is to collect the information. Okay, first it will be a valid, that is important. Whatever the information you have taken, you have took, so ultimately it should be a valid way. Reliable, that is important. It should be a reliable, means a qualitative way of information and a proper way of answer should be there. Unbiased, it is important. It should be not like that you start fighting relating to whatever the information you get. So it should be not like the people should not biased on that time. Then discriminating, that is important. Here no discrimination should be there, because whenever the research are being conducted, so on that time any part of this part it has been there, that part it has been there, or any particular point of it you are starting relating to certain discriminating certain kind of points relating to this, so that should be not there relating to whatever the information you're getting out, because that create a good image relating to getting the survey designing. Now here you have a steps of to design a questionnaire. Whenever you want to frame certain kind of questionnaires, as if I already said, when you're preparing a project, setting up with certain kind of market research project, so first you got to know what are the samplings you are performing, and according to the samplings you are running out. But parallelly, the thing is you need to even design the questionnaire. So how will design a questionnaire? First, write out the primary and secondary aim of your study, that is important. What secondary data you got, what are the primary informations you required, so that thing. Write out the concept informations to calculate that related to this aim. What are the concept or information, whatever you want. So according to this you need to match, and thus it is matching through this. So that thing also you need to see. Review the current literatures to identify already validity questionnaires that measure your specified area of interest. You need to check about the current literature, what currently it has been facing. So according to this, you can match it out and you can frame out certain areas where the interests are being shown relating to that particular way, and which will be more relevant for the peoples to have that kind of attachment. Composed a draft of your questionnaires, that is important. Before presenting in the front of the respondents, you need to just draft a questionnaire. You need to just write it down, because that makes your design of framing a questions will be more relevant to this. Revise the draft, that is important. Once you write it down all questionnaires, you just go through that type of questions. What are the questions, how it's the question. Assemble the final questionnaires. Once the steps are been done, revised, what you do, you assemble the question. This will be the first, this will be second, third, fourth, and according to this, you need to take a review relating to this, which makes your questionnaires properly. Okay, now good questionnaires, I've already said to you what are good questionnaires designed, how the good questionnaires are designed. Completeness and relevance. Question should be like, should be not incomplete. The question should be that way, which the sentences are complete and which is relevant for the people at least to come and face it out. Bias, okay. Unambiguous, which is like, it should be clear, it should not like unriched. Short and easy look, obviously, short should be there and easily it should be represent. Interest and importance. When I'm presenting a questions in the front of respondent, so at least that question should be more interest and should have more importance relating to the particular thing. Presentation, that is important. Whenever the questions are being performed or whenever it has been present, it should be more reliable relating to this, which makes more easier and more compatible for the people at least to have that kind of attachment relating to the particular questions. Now, questionnaire constructed. Now, what are types of questionnaire? What are questions? How you construct? Now, direct questions, that is called closed respondent questions. Whatever. For example, what brand of toothpaste do you normally buy? So this is called a direct questions. What are types of this brand of toothpaste do you buy? So this is a direct related question. Dechoten questions, that is, it is either yes or a no. You are referring that kind of questions, that is yes or no. You can have that kind of questions. I have more, that is multiple choice questions, what you can use. Why did you select a brand X TV? Okay, so I have a question. Good appearance, low power consumption, low price, effective after sales service. I have a box here. So whichever it is good, so ultimately that person will be doing a tick, or if they don't like, they just cancel it out. Whatever the mark, you can do it according to that. But this is also one type of questions what you can use during when you're designing any kind of research. That is called the multiple choice questions. I have rate scale questions, preferences questions, and ranking questions. These are the different, that is a rate scale question where just you need to give the ratings 1 to 4 into 1 to 4, which is convenient, 1 to 3, what are appearance you need to give that thing. Preferable, whether you like, whether you don't like, that kind of it. Ranking method, this is what you need to just do the rank between 1 to 5. So this is the product. So according to that kind of, what kind of ranking you want to give. So these are the different questionnaires which you can use whenever you're designing a research. Now, here I have one more, that is, now, open-ended questions. First, we have learned the direct-ended questions. Now, open-ended questions, it is what? Openly for it. The questions are mostly used during a personal interview when clarified should be obtained. What do you like about your TV set? This is the open-ended questions. Like you're opening up the questions that way, where whenever you're doing an interview relating to this, so which makes it easier for the other people at least to be in the content relating to that particular point of it, which makes easier at least to get all the information related answer. I have one more, that is called indirect questions, that is intentionally asking the questions like that. This is most study attitude response. Example, please complete the following sentences. Brand X of refined oil is used by more people. B must. So ultimately finally the thing is, this was the just indirect way of questions. Any questions it has been there. So I just make a certain dot relating to them, certain blank I've given. Now you just need to fill it out. So what are your views relating to, like after seeing this type of sentence? So I just fill it out, that kind of sentence. which will makes my questions properly, and what respondents want to answer, they can give me the answer. This is also one type of questionnaires where I can form. Okay, now this was the first chapter, what setting up the projects we got to know. Now we'll be moving into the next, that is called planning and completion of field work. Now as what are the plannings you do it, and once you go for the field work, means when you go to face or door to door, when you collect the data relating to it, and from the collecting from samplings, doing any interviews, and once you get all this information. So what are types of plannings you do it, and how you segregate the data, and what are the systems you are using about it, what are the things you are using relating to this when you are doing this type of field work, and once you're collecting a data, then how you are representing about it. Now first we'll go into the point. Now, first I'll go with the help of objectives, because that is important. What are the main objectives relating to this? As soon as the parameter for the market research project are defined, plan for the field operations could be prepared. Once your market research it has been done, the second step it is what? The thing is you need to set for a, you need to prepare a plan right now. It determines primarily by the methods of data collection, geographical coverage, number of people involved in the survey, work and budget. Now into this, when you are doing a plan, so what are the things you'll be doing? Data collection, from what are the data you collected, geographical coverage, okay, from where particular regions you have collected those information, number of people involved into this survey work, and budget. How many people was involved whenever you was doing this type of it, and even the thing is what was the budget you have kept relating to it when you went for this kind of informations to collect it, when you went for field work. So what are the cost it was involved, what was budget, what are the people, how many people were involved into the survey, what type of answers you got relating to the survey. So this all sort of information you'll be getting into this. So this my main objectives of this chapter will be planning and even completions of field work, how I complete my field work. Now, I have one more, that is for time, preparation of time. Okay, I need to check it about the preparation of time also, because when I'm planning and completing certain kind of projects, I need to look after with this also. That is, a time schedule chart can be prepared for the entire project. I need to make a time schedule and chart, like what are the times I've been took and how much the project time will be completed. For this, an estimation of number of days that will be needed for each phase will have to be done. Now into this, I need to estimate the time, and according to estimation of time, the thing is what I need to check it out, what are the schedules I took, how much, what are the times I took, like when I went for the field work. So on that time, what are the works I've been took, how much works it was there, and how much particular time it took. So that is important. This estimation will be related and attainable within the resources available. It will be seen according to the resources, means whatever the information, whatever the data you got, so you will be doing according to the information what you got. According to this, you will make a preparation of time. You will make a chart according to that way. Now, what is the field interview? Because here you do the field work. So what is field interview? It is just that part of it. It's an open-ended one type of question where you just go to the person and just ask a random way of any questions relating to it, whatever the questionnaire is you have been prepared, and from that at least what you are going face to face to the particular person and asking those questions relating to this. Now here you can say field interview is a specific form of interview potentially new hired by asking mostly open-ended questions. These interviews are means to offer a broader portrait of interviewer and to give the prospective employee an opportunity to provide meaning and content of experience on a resume. So this is what are the things what you have done about it. So you are asking just a random way of questions relating to this. So here it's the one type of open-ended, what they like, what they don't like, what is them there, what are the things it has been there. So this is one type of field interview where you are asking when it has been given to it. Now, I have two, into this, you have, when I'm planning and completions of certain field work, I have two things, when getting sampling error, and second it is non-sampling error. Now, what happens into this, what are the sampling errors first, and then afterwards you'll be seeing the meaning relating to this. Data publications, data presented in this publications are estimated for the population as a whole, although they are based on sampling survey. Such they are prone to the error, which are the two types. Now what happens? Usually the information which is already been published, and according to the publication, the thing is what into this population are been estimated, and according to this estimation, if there is certain kind of errors relating to it, so these two types of sampling methods you can use it, and from the sampling methods at least you will be getting what are the errors relating when you're performing this type of any kind of survey. Sampling errors and non-sampling errors, we'll just go through it, so at least what the doubts will be clear relating to this. Now see, what are the sampling errors and non-sampling errors? In statistical way, sampling error is the error caused by the observing a sample instant of whole population. Means here, you're not checking out the each and everything, but just you're just not calculating the whole population, but just randomly you're picking up, and there is certain kind of mistake relating to when you're getting out certain kind of samples. Some errors are been getting because some data are not accurate, some data are not effectively. So that kind of error, it's called a statistical way, where whenever you're calculating out, so there are certain kind of error here whenever you're performing, or it's not accurate. So that error is called a sampling error. The sampling error is the difference between a sample statistic used to estimate a population parameters and actual but unknown value of parameters. So here it is what, when you're calculating through the statistical way, but certain period of time there are certain errors, and from that error, the thing is you are not covering up or not getting out certain information. So that is why which is not accurate or which is not unknown to the parameters rating, because it is not matching out to the population whatever you have estimated. So that is why that kind of sampling, it is called a sampling error. I have one more. That is non-sampling method, means here the thing is what, it is not accurately reflected, means here it is not shown only on that type sampling error. Into the sampling error it was shown, but it was not showing accurately. So that is why into this sampling error will be what, actually it has been defined, but the thing is what, you are not getting a proper way of accurate information. So that is why the thing is you are not getting a proper way of value of population, you won't be able to get information exactly. Non-sampling error is caused by the factors other than those related to the sampling selection. Okay, whatever it is what, whatever the samples you have been selected, so from there we are getting on non-sampling error. It refers to presence of any other factor, whether systematically or random, that results the data's value not accurately reflects from the true value for the population. So here it is what, a systematical way of error where you are getting what population are there, and from that population you are not getting an accurate information. So that is why that thing is called a non-sampling error. So which creates problems relating to get those information. Now, processing of data. Once you are calculating all this data, when you're getting out the, when you're doing a planning, then afterwards you're completing a certain kind of field job. So what processing of data you do, means what are the things you process the data, then how you get the data, then again the thing is you proceed ahead. With the field work in going on, and before it conclude constant procedures of data, the checking of data could be done into the following head. Now here, moving into ahead into the other step, the first thing it is what, once you get it the data, we want to proceed that data, first you need to check the adequacy, means how much it is the data, does it is relevant or not, you are checking that. Up to date, that is important, the data should be up to date. Accuracy means what are the data, and according to this, does the data are accurate or not, that it is being seen, because then only you can proceed the data ahead. Okay, so these are the different types of methods what it is being seen, and the last but not least, it is what, using of computers, because using of computers makes a data more relevant and more equivalent to it, to the uses of computers. Now, use of computers in work processing, data processing, database management and graphical, because as you're processing a data, once you're getting out the data and once you're collecting all this information relating to it, so finally the thing is what, you're getting out all the information, that is work processing, data processing, database management and graphic. You are calculating the data, and finally the thing is you're upgrading according to that way, whatever the data is, like word processing whatever the statements you're getting or whatever the questionnaires you're performing, and according to that questionnaires you're forming into the group, and from the group the thing is what keeping out each and every data. Next, data processing, whatever the data are there. So if you want to move it ahead, you can give it to it. You can pass the data, or you can make other file relating to the data. So you can do this thing. Database management, you need to make that way of software where the thing is you can store the data, and which whenever it has been used during the managemental process you can use. Graphical way, where I've already said to you where we are using related to the graphical way, relating to drawing a certain graphs and all, which makes more relevant and which makes more easier to know about the information, and which makes it easiest to know about what is the process relating to this type of it when you're collecting that kind of survey. Okay, so this was the all point of it. Okay, related to all certain kind of points which makes more relevant for the to get informations properly, and you can plan accordingly whatever the require. So today we have ended up with the help of 2 chapters. The first was setting up of the project, and last it is what the second chapter was the planning and field work. Okay, so this was the last point, last slides for this chapter. We'll just brush it out whatever, we have a short time right now. So let us just brush it out whatever the concept it has been we have discussed today. Now, already last sessions we have discussed about so much type of research, but in today's sessions we got to know whenever the projects are being handed over to it. So on that time, what are the things you'll be seeing about it? Like once the thing is what, whenever the projects are being said to you, so first you should know about what is research, what are the projects. The most important the thing is what we have discussed first about sponsor, what the sponsors require, how the sponsors are requiring the data. So that type of information, according to this you can collect it out, and from that type of information the thing is what and according to the sponsor means what type of details the management require. So that type of details the thing is what kind of informations you can discuss with the people, so which makes more relevant for the people to get the information, and through which you can run it out the business. So that is why we are moving with the help of first thing that is called a sponsor. We are getting the information from the sponsor. Then afterwards you have different type of we have learned about the samples. Okay, from there are so much of populations, we want to check it about certain particular regions related, so only have a samples, and from the populations I want to calculate certain samples. So from the population I've collected certain particular thing, and then afterwards I segregate into the different measures, and which makes my sampling methods more easier. We went with the second point, that was what are different types of sampling also. Okay, sampling methods we have learned about it. Okay, probability and non-probability samples, and into the probability where we have been seen a simple way of probability samples. Then afterwards the random related samples, clustered samples we have been seen about it. Then after multi-phase, multi-stage, different way where you have been seen. We have seen non-cluster, there are also quota systems you have been seen about, convenient where you have been seen about it. Okay, judgmental you have been seen about it. A probability and non-probability, that makes a total difference relating to the collecting certain kind of samplings. When related to probability, when you're calculating that kind of it, the probability is what, certain kind of fractional way you're calculating a data, and finally according to this you're performing a research and you're calculating and doing a survey according to that way, and from this you are getting all information. When non-probability way, you just randomly are calculating out where you are not getting an accurate one, and so from that the thing is what you're collecting a data and you're using that kind of point of it. So which is more becomes difficulties to get it out all those data. So that comes in non-probability where already data are there, but the thing is it is not accurately where you can get it out the data. But in probability where you can use different kind of sampling method, and from this different kind of sampling methods which will be more useful for you to know about it, that how the thing it has been conducted, what are the things it has been conducted, and how you'll be using about it. You have a different type of it where you have a one simple way, systematical way where you can go it about it randomly, you can go it multi-phase, you can go it multi-stage, you can go it different types of it where you can get it. We have learned even questionnaires, what are questionnaires, what are types of questionnaires, how to design a questionnaires, steps of questionnaires. You have been checked about it, because whenever you're performing any kind of questionnaires one, so first you need to see about what are questionnaires are being framed, to what particular way where you're doing a survey, and does this questionnaire is available or not, does this questionnaires answers will be available or not, it will be relevant or not, it has been checked, this and all that thing, all the data are being checked according to that way, which makes more easier, more compatible to form a questionnaire. Once you're performing a questionnaire, you just need to write it out each and everything, and once the thing is, if you have any kind of changes, any kind of error relating to this, you can make a statement changes, and again the thing is you can frame word with the next questionnaire, because the thing is what your research, your project should match with the questionnaire, because from this questionnaire the thing is whatever the answer you get, it will be more beneficial for your research. So that is why we are performing that kind of research activity relating to setting when you're getting handed down with certain kind of projects related, and which makes more convenient for the people also to understand relating to this type of questionnaires form. So that is why who, what, how, who, you have different type of questionnaires have been framed here also, where open-ended was there, a direct question was there, indirect questions was there, then afterwards you have a multi-choice question was there, preferences questions was there, certain rating where you can give the questionnaires one. So these are the different type of questionnaires. Once your questionnaires have been framed, you need to have a rewrite with the help of the same questionnaires into the sequence, which makes more easier to get it. You need to draft once again the questionnaires. Even we have been checked about the good characteristics, where cost should be proper, effective should be there, more reliable should be there, accurate we should be there, each and everything was there. And even we have discussed into this chapter relating to the costing also, like whenever you are handing out with any kind of project, so when you are doing with any kind of research also, so you need to check out what is the costing also, means what are the costs when a particular research you are doing out. So what are the strategy you are putting about it? What are the cost amount you are putting about it? Like each and every particular way where resources, your time it has been used, your time and cost it has been used. So what are the time and what are the cost are being used? So that calculation should be also there when you are doing a research, because research you are getting out the project, it is not the big thing, but after the projects related all information which is more relevant for your data, that makes the important one into your whenever you're doing any kind of survey or whenever you're collecting any kind of sampling related method, which makes more easier, more convenient for the people to understand about it, to get all those information. So this was a concept which was there. Even we have discussed about the certain kind of samplings also, okay, which are more relevant. Then after we have went with the second chapter, that is called planning and completion of work, okay, because planning and completion of field work, because whenever this was the first relating to getting out the setting of the projects relating to the research, but then afterwards the second part, once you are getting your questionnaires have been framed, you are using certain kind of samples, you are aware with the sponsor, you are aware with the management, how the management require the survey, how they want to calculate the data. The second part, it is what now the thing is what they need to plan, and without the planning method, the thing is it will be incomplete to perform each and every data. So here it is what they need to plan it, and planning according to what kind of data they require, why they require the data and all, each and every questions are being checked. Now we'll just go with the help of planning, because that already we have been done with the help of currently. Now, here it is what whenever the planning, you can see these are the 2 points whenever it has been seen, whenever you need to see the market research, according to this you need to plan. And second part, the thing is what you need to check the budget also, because which will be more convenient for it to match with the survey, because that is important, which makes more reliable and more reliable relating to develop a planning. And second part, it is what the field work also, like what are the field work you have done, what are the survey you have done, and according to this, what are the contributions you have given relating to this. So that is all the things has been checked here when you are doing a planning method relating to this. And once you are doing a planning relating to this, you are using what type of sources of data, and as you're collecting the data to it, finally the thing is what your completion, you're making a file, you're collecting the data, you're analyzing the data, you're interpreting the data, you're using certain kind of tools, and from these tools which makes more accurately, more easiest way relating to get out all those information relating to it, which will match for your business prospects, and according to this you can start up with the projects and with the help of development of the certain kind of strategies relating to this, which makes more convenient, more easier to know about the information. Even we have discussed about certain what are the, how the planning should be there, what are the field work should be there, more it should be costly, it should be how the cost should be very effective, the time should be very effective, accuracy should be even checked here, accurate should be there, the data will be cleared, won't be that much time to a type of ridged also. Each and every sort of information which you'll be getting out, which will be more reliable, which will be more acceptable to this type of data. So this is also one type of concept relating to this. It has been there what we have discussed right now. Just a minute. Now, even preparation of time also we have been checked here, like whenever you are planning and completion of any kind of work. So on that time, what type of preparation timing you will be taking out, because that has also been checked here, because if you are not getting out the proper way of resources, whatever it has been available, so that has been also been checked. Okay, so preparation of time is there. Field interview, what we have discussed right now, what are the field interviews also, like whenever you are going face to face, your door-to-door steps, so where you're getting out those data and you're getting out those information which will be more relevant to this type of it, and which will be more convenient for the people also to get all this information, because here you can use an open-ended questions related information. So as from this type of interviewer, the relationship will be also maintained by interviewer and interviewee with the help of proper way of interaction. So today we have discussed more internal to the setting up of the projects also, and even we have discussed more with the help of completion of plan also. So how we will perform that kind of data, that is called a field work data also. Sampling error also you have been seen about it here, where samples and sampling errors, what are samples also you have been already previously you have been seen, and from this the thing is if there is any kind of error related whenever you are doing a survey. Okay, so we have went through this 2 points also, that is first it is what a sampling, and second it is what non-sampling related error. So like into the sampling error, here it is what a statistical way, where a sampling error is the error caused by the observing a sampling instant of whole population. You are just doing an observation related to it. Here you are not calculating the whole population relating to this. The sampling error is the difference between a sampling statistic used to estimate a population parameters and actual but unknown value of a parameters. Here you are not getting an accurate value. Here you are not calculating the accurate value, just you are estimating out. So that is why from estimating the thing is the populations are being calculated. So that is why this comes into the sampling error, where you are not getting an accurate related information relating to this. But where I am telling a non-accurate, non-sampling error related, so it is what other than those related to the sample selection, it refers to the presence of any factors where systematic or randomly that results in the data value not accurately reflecting the true value of the population. The same here is also the same thing. Here into the first there was a system, certain estimation was there, but into this it is just only showing not only proper way of not accuracy is not being checked or properly it is not selected. You are not getting a true value of the population also. So that is why this is also one non-sampling error also, which is more reliable for this to perform each and every data also into this. So this is also one type of related questions. Processing of the data, we have been even checked relating to this type of how you process the data. Like while the field work is going on and before it concludes the constant procedure of a data, the checking of the data should be done under the following under the following certain heads. Means once you are doing a field work, once as if you are doing a field work, so going on or before it concludes, means you are going on and before it when you're concluding also on that time, you need to just go through that data, check the data whether it's matched these 3 points or not. That is an accuracy, up to date and accurate. Adequacy, up to date and accuracy. These are the 3 points where you need to check. It is an adequacy or not, means the data whatever you have collected, does it has been matching to that particular information or not. Next, it is what up to date, the data whatever you have got to it, because then only you can conclude if your data are properly been stored. So according to this only, then only you can process the data ahead. Accuracy, you need to even check the accuracy of the data, how much accurate the data it has been there, because then only you will be getting proper way of accurate information relating to that kind of it. And last state is what? Relating to uses of computers. So because with this type of uses of computers related, where each and every data you are collecting, word processing, data processing, database management and graphics. These are the different way of point of it, where the thing is what you're using the computers when you're completing out your field planning, and second when you're completing out the field work also. So once this is the last point of the chapter where you're planning also, and second with the help of this you're completing the field work process also. So where you're collecting a data and then afterwards you're segregating a data and then afterwards you're storing into the computer. So with the help of uses of this computer only, the thing is what your data are being properly stored and properly it can be step to step, it can be synchronized according to that way. So today we went through the help of 2 chapters. First with the help of setting up of the planning marketing research project, and second we learned with the help of planning and completion of work. Now already we have learned so much of different points into the last session. So that is why now you can understand how marketing research becomes very important, very useful into our normal whenever you start up with any kind of business, whenever the organization start up with any kind of new business. So ultimately the thing is the research makes an important concept relating to this, because of the research only the thing is the company can develop a certain strategy, the management can develop certain kind of strategies. It is not only related with the product price place promotion, but only with the help of doing internal way of depth way of research. So these are the internal way of depth way of research. So first it is not like that just only introducing a product into the market, but if you want to survive into the competitive world, that is why we perform this type of different type of sampling related method, probability related, statistical way of calculation, field work, desk work we do survey, then after we perform a report. So that is why with the help of this only and presentation of a data in the front of the